negative narratives about the continent.
Before we become journalists today, we are citizens. If there is no way that our country is safe, we cannot practice in our respective professions. When we are at war, pastors will not be respected to go to church to preach. When we are at war, medical doctors will not be able to go to hospitals except on a coercion or sanitary condition. When we are at war, lawyers will not be able to go to court to practice. That's why when you see these things happening, whether you are a lawyer, whether you are working a profession, you got to step down and protect your country so that that country will provide an avenue for you to be the kind of person that you want to be. And that's where we are now. What happened on yesterday was wrong. It's still wrong, and no matter what it is wrong. We are seeing things happening in this country, and people are now seeing it as being right because their side is there. And these are things that we got to be stand up. To be a patriot, you have to stand first on the side of the law, because the politicians will go away. The regime will pass away, but your country will stay. The law will stay. Your patriotism vow will continue to stay on. And these are things that we got to stand up for. It doesn't matter how people feel, what kind of side you want to be on. We just got to speak to the truth, and that is very much important.
I see in the next few months a nicer country, a very noisy country, rowdy country, a heavily divided country, a very tough economy, a sense of elitism by those who are coming at the hem of authority. The coming in of the Unity Party is going to multiply the economic woes, the economic conundrum, the economic quagmire, the suffering of the Liberian people is going to multiply. We are not prophets of doom, but the reality will come.
Mr. President, recently we witnessed the demolition of the CDC headquarters in Comot Town, which was carried out through a court order. How does the administration ensure that such enforcement action are done fairly and without political interference?
The law is the law. It's not the government. It's the government implementation of the law. The police were ordered to do it, and they did it. Is that demolition is removal of the people from premises that don't belong to them according to the law.
Why will George Weah, who is tempted by Joseph Boakai, who was drowning in his Egypt land, who was dead, very red up, dirty, stink, you could find him passing around, practically dead and useless. Why will such a man conduct make you Weah vex that you will struck the work and then lose God's own mission to take you to the promised land? That was the test of time today for George Weah. If George Weah had reacted, he would have fallen in the place of Moses.
The Liberian National Police commends the Congress for Democratic Change for the discipline, calm, and statesmanship demonstrated during the recent eviction process. Your respect for the rule of law, despite the deep sentimental value and history attached to the property, reflects a maturity that strengthens Liberia's democracy. This moment is not only a testament to CDC's leadership, but also a reminder to all political institutions and citizens that our democracy grows stronger when lawful decisions are honored peacefully.
Today, you have a rebel police director who thinks that he has arrived. And the worst thing about all these people, they all benefited from the magnanimity of George Weah. Ranging from people on the bench of the Supreme Court, they got letters from George Weah. If some of them choose to pay him back with evil, it's up to them. The very Gregory Comer today, he worked in the previous administration when Weah came, he also got another letter again. If he chooses to do what he's doing, it's up to him. But one thing I can tell you for sure is this is how we had always been molded. That's how God has already molded Weah and catapult him into success. He will suffer rejection, denigration, humiliation. That has been his life. How can you make somebody who has been down the line their shame? The person has gone through shame. They have gone through disgrace. They have done everything they can. Whatever people thought and were laughing at them, they surmount everything and catapult themselves into becoming someone who is towering that the whole world can look at today. What more can you do? You think you're bringing that person down? You're just hurting yourself. In fact, what you are doing, you are destroying yourself. You know what it takes for you to pride in yourself of being bad? When people are looking for good image, you are happy in becoming a bad person. George Weah would never, ever buy in to your tricks. He would never, ever. To your tricks. He would never, ever. ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy person. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever.
There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so he can, the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so he can, the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so he can, the United Party can continue. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so he can, the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so he can, the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so he can, the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. But I can tell you, this is a bad example.
George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever.
There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so he can, the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. But I can tell you, this is a bad example. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so he can, the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. But I can tell you, this is a bad example.
George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever.
There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so he can, the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. But I can tell you, this is a bad example.
You see that? You see that? It's what I agree. You see it? You see that? You see what this together doing?
Before we could become journalists today, we are citizens. If there is no way that our country is safe, we cannot practice in our respective professions. When we are at war, pastors will not be respected to go to church to preach. When we are at war, medical doctors will not be able to go to hospitals except on a coercion or sanitary condition. When we are at war, lawyers will not be able to go to court to practice. That's why when you see these things happening, whether you are a lawyer, whether you are working a profession, you got to step down and protect your country so that that country will provide an avenue for you to be the kind of person that you want to be. And that's where we are now. What happened on yesterday was wrong. It's still wrong. And no matter what it is wrong. We are seeing things happening in this country, and people are now seeing it as being right because the Asa is there. And these are things that we got to be stand up. To be a patriot, you have to stand first on the side of the law, because the politicians will go away. The regime will pass away, but your country will stay. The law will stay. Your patriotism vow will continue to stay on. And these are things that we got to stand up for. It doesn't matter how people feel, what kind of side you want to be on. We just got to speak to the truth, and that is very much important.
His Excellency, George Weah, President of Liberia. Our board noted that His Excellency's victory as the African Political Leader of the Year 2023 is a testament to his contributions to promoting peace, African culture and development, youth and sports development, and advancing Africa's agenda globally. It is also a recognition of his critical role in the infrastructural and socio-economic development of his country as well as his people-friendly policies. He has continued to advocate for peace and free and fair elections in the ECOWAS sub-region, and this was demonstrated by a show of statesmanship and iconic posturing by accepting electoral loss and congratulating the winner. While he arguably had options as a sitting president, he chose the path of honor, peace, and the defense of democracy. His emergence reaffirms our position that he has remained one of the continent's leading light, as he had continued to demonstrate great faith in the African project, promoting African dignity and helping to change the negative narratives about the continent.
Simply people, not easy in Liberia. So it's another day. Good afternoon. Thank you so very kindly that you join us. Real Talk Kings 88.5, March 10, 2026, the reign of Judah Christopher. Yes, that's what we are. A whole radio. Kings 88.5, we go real as always, real for the good of this country, whether the evil ones like it or not, but it is for the good of this country. We strive. Real talk, we go real another day. Grateful we are to God, the creator and sustainer of the universe. He is good. He is faithful. He is just everything we need to exist, and he is hovering, never reneging on his promises, but fulfilling every word in the fullness of his time. We are grateful to that God who keeps watch over each and every person, and he has brought us into this day. And not only that, but he is the God who exposes evil. He is the God who exposes tyrannic, dictatorial, despotic leadership or rulership. He is the God who inflicts when he gets ready, when his people groan in their hearts. He is that God who exacts justice, vengeance at his own accord. But before then, he warns the rulers of the earth, and Liberia is no exception. So we're grateful that he is keeping watch over us. I see you when I see you. That's great. So it's another day, man. It's another day. Thank you all for coming on. I appreciate all of you. Tomorrow is national holiday. I see you when I see you. Tomorrow is national holiday. They say Decoration Day. Get ready to clean your graves. Those who believe in that, you can do. Those who do not believe in cleaning the home of the dead, you can refrain. But it is a national holiday. They say Decoration Day. One of the dates, one of the holidays that needs to be repealed, not necessary at all. You don't need to wait for 9 months to pass before you go to celebrate over a grave. I say celebration because most people do that. So tomorrow is holiday. So this is the day before the day. Yeah, the day before the day. So we see you today before we see you tomorrow. It's called once I see you when I see you. Oh, it's another day, people. Thank you all, man. Let's have a wonderful time. Oh, just so you know, today, the world's greatest team is on display, FC Barcelona. We are in England. We are in England at St. James's Park, Newcastle United. UEFA, Newcastle? No, yes, Newcastle United. They have Manchester United, Manchester City, Newcastle United. So we are at St. James's Park at 8 p.m. Liberian time. Yeah, 8 p.m. So we'll be watching 2 games every day. When the Champions League, I'll watch 2 games. I'm watching Barcelona game, at the same time are watching Face the Issues and listening to Face the Issues. Yeah. So 2 games will be playing at the same time with the UEFA Champions League. The first leg is today, and then next week, the second leg. So Barcelona needs to win both legs to move to the last 8, and then from the last 8 to the last 4, from the last 4 to last 2, from the last 2 to last 1, called the final. That's it. So let's bring on some of you that have come on. Thank you ever so much, all of you. We are always inspired by your presence. You're so great, so massive, so extraordinary. Great people, great fans of Kings 88.5. All of you. David Williams, Colorado, USA. Josephus Manning. I see you when I see you. I see you when I see you. You know what's up. Yes, I see you when I see you. Please tell my FCB league here that tonight is 8 o'clock tonight. Yeah, so let all get in your backup form. I see you when I see you. Heron Tito Jr., you are on. Residence Caldwell. Yasser Sharif, USA. Emmanuel Bro, Minnesota, USA. Eugene Hammer, Cox City, Missouri, USA. Joseph Gba, Bon County, Waterside. Oh, Bon County has Waterside, that's good. Roland A.B. Sambula, Point 4. Ezekiel Johnson, Chicken Soup Factory, Saturday Woodaware, Atlanta, Georgia, USA. Jeremiah Lablat, Soul Clinic, Gaza, Ayuba Kaba, Morovia, Bellotier, Jacob Town, Dubon Hill, North Carolina, USA. Perry Sloward, New Jersey, USA. William Wooler, spokesperson, Civil Rights Movement of Liberia. Maria Ivey, North Carolina. Princess Elpidets, Saclay Market, Nima County. Clady Allison, Delaware, USA. Ruth Bodua Bine, Phoenix, Arizona, USA. Juju Wonwe, Royal Always Va, District 3. Emmanuel Gay, District 4. Musa A. Sharif, Sophie Community, Congo Town. Stephen Yakari, District 2, Lower Magibi County. Stanley Bozo, Congress City. Sando Korn, Melatin Yadolo, Garden State, USA. Navarros M, Toronto, Canada. Good to have you on. It is my understanding that you are faring well. That's good. Mac Anthony Young, Jefferson Clark, Jukonti Chie, Business Center. Patricia Zia, your office. Usman Saul, your business center. Gale Street. Juan Momolo, your business center also. Gale Street. Orita Jikla. That's Gabriel Lawson, Iron Factory, Broad Street Business Center. Rita Christine Hates, Massachusetts, USA, and my dear sister. Great. Hope that you are faring well. I know that. Thank you so much. Orita Sunderway Choir. Good to have all of you on. Great people. Hope that you are faring well. But we can get started without bringing on the chairman who has just come on. Roman Rico, Kenny Ball, Latu Pound, Fourth Shot, Chairman, Block Titan Intellectual Center, the Chairman for Life, one and only Chairman, Melting Pot Chairman, the Reference Point Chairman. All of you great people, welcome. So let's go out of Liberia as quickly as we can, and then we get to Liberia. It's not easy. It's not easy. They say life and death lie in the power of the tongue, but it does not go with instinct or on-the-spot death. It also goes with other calamities. And it's just not good to impute the name of God unnecessarily, unpurposefully. It goes with curse. It is against that backdrop that he himself warned that the name of God, his name is not a playful name. It's not a joking thing. You don't take his name and use it anyway, whichever way you think you can. Even if you want to be descriptive, you can do that. You should find another name or another thing and not the name of the Lord. So based on that, we are very careful how we bring the name of God into whatever. If we bring in his name or using his name, we use it to glorify, to exalt, to speak of his mightiness, to speak of his ability, but not to use his name in a comic manner. You hold on to that, please. Let's get out of Liberia. Former Ghanaian President John Kufuor has called for reforms to public sector salaries, arguing that low pay for government officials contributes to corruption. He said Ghana's current wage structure for civil servants and political leaders is unrealistic and can push some officials toward corrupt practices. Kufuor cited Singapore's founding leader, Lee Kuan Yew, who supported paying ministers competitive salaries to attract talent and reduce corruption. He added that higher pay must be combined with strict accountability. Debate over public sector wages in Ghana has continued since the introduction of the single spine salary structure, which sought to reduce pay disparity but remains controversial. Somali immigrants have filed a lawsuit in Boston to challenge President Donald Trump's government's plan to end temporary protective status called the TPS for more than 1,000 Somalis in the United States. Plaintiffs argued the decision, based on claims that conditions in Somalia have improved, is procedurally flawed and influenced by discriminatory bias, particularly against the backdrop of ongoing instability and humanitarian issues in Somalia that contradict the government's claim. TPS for Somalia, first granted in 1991 due to the civil war, was last extended in 2023. About 1,882 Somalis currently hold TPS, and 1,383 have pending applications. The United States is home to over 260,000 of Somali descent, many living in Minnesota, with some active in politics, including Congresswoman. And United States President Donald Trump says the U.S. Israel surgical plan against Iran is going according to the plan. According to him, the conflict is nearing completion, but maintains Iran was hardly hit.
Over the past 9 days, we've carried out some of the most powerful and complex military strikes and maneuvers the world has ever seen. Now, you add that up to all of the other things, Midnight Hammer, getting rid of the nuclear threat from Iran, which was a big moment in history, in my opinion, and the great success we've had in Venezuela and all other places. Every place we've gone, we've had tremendous success. But while we're doing all of these things, we're achieving major strides toward completing our military objective. And some people could say they're pretty well complete. We've wiped every single force in Iran out very completely. So we're winning very decisively. We're way ahead of schedule. Iran's a very powerful country. They were going to take over the Middle East. If we did not hit them, they were going to take over the Middle East. They had thousands and thousands since their last hit. They had thousands and thousands of missiles and everything else. Most are now destroyed, but they were going to take over the Middle East. Those weapons were aimed at Middle Eastern countries that had nothing to do with this. They were going to take over the Middle East and they were going to try and destroy Israel. So we stopped it with good timing, and we're very proud to be involved in this, and it's going to be ended soon. And if it starts up again, they'll be hit even harder.
United States President Donald Trump. Let's focus now on developments unfolding here. In my introduction, I said the name of God shouldn't be, or God himself made it clear, thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. Is that not what the Bible says? If you aren't a Christian, that's the only way you wouldn't know. But if you are a Christian, you know it's in the Bible. You go there. That warning is there. It is a warning. It is a warning. There are lines in all literatures. You see warning. There are lines that are optional. There are lines that you can mimic. You can play with it whichever way you can. So when you read in literature, you watch out if you have this in mind. There are certain lines, they are command. Certain lines, they are command or injunction, meaning an order or an instruction. There are lines that you can just say anything you want, whichever way you can play with it, whichever way, or it may anything. This line, thou shalt not take the name of the Lord in vain, is an order, is a warning. And every warning has reserved consequences for defiance or violation. Every injunction, there is a reserved penalty for violation or defiance. Just anything of a deliberate refusal or defiance. Many of you wondering, what is St. Andrews driving at? Well, here is it. And this is going to have a serious toll on the country for a longer period, because Mr. President took the name of the Lord thy God in a mimic manner. You don't mimic the name of God. When he said God was not making any new land, we told you not only was the president sarcastic, which warrants the president himself being jailed for 6 months, as they have resolved to jail people for 6 months for whatever the expression you use. For them, whatever the expression, however they defame and disrespect and dehumanize other people by their words, their descriptions, it is a free speech. But when you come out with your own description, then they say it is not a free speech. So by that, everybody should worship all those who have the power. So Mr. President was sarcastic. Not only that, Mr. President went and mimicked the name of God. And when you mimic the name of God, he lives from behind you. He empowers your enemy. He fortifies your enemy against you to overcome you. What are we saying? Mr. President took the name of the Lord thy God in vain when he said God is not making any new land. So the Guineans, God said, Guineans, the president of Liberia say, I'm not making any new land. That he devalue, he debased me, every other thing. Now you can go. Guinea, even though the government tried portraying it in a way that no, but it is about land issue. The people, they are claiming a vast portion around Liberia-Guinea border. To the extent they have installed their flag. When you put your flag in the ground, it is not only that you have that area, but you have the absolute authority. Hence, anybody attempting to move into it or to question you, you exterminate them. Watch those movies, those war movies, when they capture a territory or they encroach into a territory, whichever way, they install their flag. The flag signals legitimate absolute authority. They've installed the flag in the area they have claimed as their property and not for Liberia. Challenging the government here to go there and take the land from them. My people, we have to be careful, because when something sparks up, the people around there, they're going to suffer. It may not reach the capital, but they're going to suffer. Moreover, it might just strain the relationship diplomatically between Guinea and Liberia. Moreover, Guinea is a French-speaking country. The leadership does not countenance any nonsense from any government. Remember now, transitioning does not suggest transitioning from a junta regime to presidency does not suggest that the junta attitude is gone. Doumbouya still maintains his junta posture. He does not take anything lightly. He is aware of what unfolded, and with the installing of the flag, the Guinean flag, that should tell you that it met his approval. I'm not there in Guinea, but I'm using a political reasoning here. When they install their flag, the chief is aware and say, if Liberia claims that the land is for them, let them come and take it. Not only that, they have their armed men around there. And there are other areas that people are still claiming land. This country is on the verge of losing vast areas, its own inheritance to others. And if this country isn't careful, in the next 5-10 years, the people will be driven out of this place because the lands will have been taken, given out. Cautions were given by people of different status in this country, typical Liberians, urging the government to address this issue meticulously, not to put any political spin on it. The government is yet to heed to those pieces of wisdom. And now you see where it has gone. It's very likely that Sierra Leone on the other side could come up and say this portion of Liberia is dead. And then they move to claim it with the installation of their flag. That's what you get when the leader who should be cognizant of the atmosphere, the aftermath, will take the name of God and put it into politics and mimic it. Since Mr. President made that statement, what do you see happening? People just think Liberia is a land cake. You come and cut your own. Come and cut. That's how people see Liberia, land cake. Cut your own, go. If we're not careful, not only with our neighbors, encroach on our land and take it, but even within the foreigners will have a dominant portion. That is why we are against Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, the House of Representatives, the executive, and every other person in that cahoot to amend or modify Article 27B of our Constitution to give it to foreign domination. That's what's going to happen. Never in the history of this country have we had this problem we are encountering with land. It did not reach this proportion. We have misunderstanding. People, X, Y, Z, they will go, they settle it, and be finished. People will bring their legitimate deeds, and then the court adjudicates. The people get their deed. It was people were very, they were quiz to the core if any person came to claim a land. But it wasn't as strong and unprecedented as it is today. The first time in the history of this country that we are experiencing this, to the extent our neighbors are now thinking to encroach because they know the government here will not do anything about it. The situation in Guinea, they can do nothing about it. They can do nothing. That is a junta regime. It's not because the man called an election at his will and the people voted against their will. We all say president, but they still maintain their junta nature. How you deal with other countries that have no junta regime or post-junta regime is not how you deal with that Guinean situation. That guy is different. Doumbouya is different. Read Doumbouya history. His entire life have been military. Going into military coups, receiving training from some of the best training bases around the world, was involved with high-profile assignments. Read the man profile. You are afraid. And you sit down here, you say Ghana making new land instead of being very cautious as leader. What do you say? That's what you get when the leader mimic the name of God. He allows your enemy to evade you. It's terrible. It's serious. It's serious. They have installed their flair. Guinea, you don't try French man. You don't try French man. Those people, they're different. They're now us. The French people, they're just like the Republican Americans. They don't talk much. No, they believe in action. That's why you don't play with them. They install their flag. They're done. As far as they're concerned, they're done. You see here? This is it. This is the Guinean flag. That's the area they claim to be theirs. They install their flag. They have their soldiers there. Can Liberian soldiers go there to claim it? It will be different thing. Yeah. Well, I don't know, bro. We'll try to get that. All right, bro. Okay. So the House of Representatives, let's talk the hypocrisy of the House of Representatives. The hypocrisy of the House of Representatives. Today, led by Representative Marvin Cole, they got angry and they took a unanimous vote to summon, or not summon, arrest. They say arrest, that's the word they use, arrest the Minister of Finance, Unity Party Minister of Finance and Development Planning, Augustin Gafuan. In their words, Minister Gafuan is stalling, to use their words, stalling their work. Minister Gafuan has held back deliberately, according to them, their gas slip, their squash car, their every other thing. And so they are crippled. They can't function normally because the minister has taken onto himself the authority to stall everything their work. Hence, they took a unanimous vote ordering the sergeant at arms to move to the Ministry of Finance, the office of Minister Gafuan, to arrest him, bodily arrest, and take him to the House of Representatives to send him to jail for 6 months. Remember now, 6 is the number of this government. The Chief Justice sent the other man to 6 months in jail, threatening to send anybody to 6 months. So the House of Representatives decided, probably, if they have arrested Gafuan and carry him, the decision will be go to jail for 6 months. 6 is their number. And do you know what the number 6 is? It's not a good number. 6 is not a good number. 6 is a number associated with the devil. That's the devil's number. 6. 7 is God's number. Let's have a listen to Representative Marvin Cole, who highlighted the issue in a vexed manner.
It is important for us to recognize, and Madam, most of the please listen carefully, that the Ministry of Finance, in my opinion and in my mind, this ministry, there is no question that the function of this legislature has been impeded by this ministry. Deny lawmakers of just benefit, more especially gasoline and other benefits that belong to us to come to work, will enable us to come to work, so that it cannot run out ineffective. I said, I will be ready to vote. Were you to accept, including the Starbucks that I will be paid for February up current, that the living valley, the searching of arms premeditated by the honorable to immediately move to the Ministry of Finance. No deputy, the living valley of Minister Gafuan be brought immediately before this valley along with the Controller General of the Republic of Liberia. Immediately in 1 hour time. I will be ready to vote. When you will accept that. Thank you.
These are the lawmakers we have, and please accept my generality. These are the lawmakers we have. They are always concerned about themselves. These are the people you voted. You stood on long lines for. You stood under the rain. You caught your sleep at 2:33. You risked your safety in the dark, no electricity, standing, all because you wanted a good representation that would not only be shown at the legislature, but be reflected in your individual and collective lives. Instead, it is other way around. You did most part of the job. They are the ones who are reaping. Instead of these people who call themselves lawmakers, instead of convening, we have a national situation, we have a security situation, we have a situation that could have a serious security implication and diplomatic fallout between Liberia and Guinea. Instead of these lawmakers prioritizing that by convening to find out why and how and whether they can make an intervention, they are fighting, complaining over gas slip, over scratch card, prioritizing themselves against the welfare and security of the state. And the people you say they are lawmakers. With what are unfolding, you know what is coming out of Guinea now? Any serious legislature will immediately convene. If the entire 73 cannot convene, it cannot be put on the floor, or the 30 persons called senator, if it can be put on the floor, they have committees responsible for security. They have security committees. In the House of Representatives, that committee is headed by, what's the guy name, man? He gets Seaguy Security. In the Senate, they have the committee responsible. Given the urgency of the moment, what they need to do as lawmakers, convene, immediately open a conversation with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs on what is unfolding. Get a full briefing. From there, you know what to do, how the government should approach that situation. But they are fighting, they are demanding a scratch card, gas slip, as if they cannot afford. The lawmakers in Liberia, the lawmakers are the richest lawmakers in the whole world. The Ghanaian man will say, whole wide world. Momo Cyrus, thank you, Josephus. The Ghanaian man will say, whole wide world. The lawmakers in Liberia are the richest lawmakers in the whole world. They are the richest on the African continent. They are the richest in the whole world. They are the only lawmakers that demand and justify and increase their salaries to 10,000, 15,000, that demand and justify the morale 80,000, 90,000 counts. And you can see no representation from them. They just brag and boast and rant in this thing called honorable. They're sitting there. Look what happened in Bond County last evening. If Bond County had a fire station, a fire service station, you think all those stores, such investment, huge investment in Bond County would have gone? No. Mr. President came with rhetoric Where did he go to speak? He said he need fire service in this place. Fire service should be relocated from Ashmore Street. He need fire service in this place. Fire service in that place. Wow, it was just vla. The people can say nothing happening. The lawmakers that should be pushing, keeping the executive feet to the fire aspect, their responsibility, are the ones who are negligible. What do you have? Nothing can depend on these people. Guinea has taken that area. Guinea done with it. The government here can do nothing. Nothing they can do. Nothing. They will just issue a press statement. The government of Liberia and the government of Guinea have met, and the two countries have resolved on XYZ. That's all. The people install their flags. Then they're here fighting for gas slip, squash cars. That the lawmakers you're getting in your country. Oh. That the lawmakers you have. Serious thing happening that could have a serious repercussion on our country. That could strain the diplomatic relations between Guinea and Liberia. Instead of our lawmakers taking this as an urgency of the moment, prioritizing it, they screaming, fighting for scratch card, for gas slip. Should they reduce themselves to that level? Oh, now they're feeling it. And it's good that they are crying. I don't second guess. We saw Ellen's government. We saw Weah's government. We saw Ellen's legislature. We saw Bouakai. We saw Weah's legislature. The same thing happened. It came out in Weah's administration. When these people, when their colleagues were in the house, they were then making mockery of them. That's when they were joining the other people to call their colleagues spineless, that they did not have the balls, that the leadership then of George Weah was inept. They will use Yeka Koluba to go against the speaker then, Dr. Boffa Chambers. The same thing unfolded. The late Solomon George, he was on the floor. He threatened to kill the speaker, his own speaker. He said he would carry a gun if the gas slip and other things were not given. These people, they were taking a joke. They were laughing with their colleagues. I am saying it this way to tell you that government is so difficult to run. Government is not scientific. When your colleagues are in it, they are going through some things. When things are tough on the president is fighting, thinking hard to make things happen. Don't say the president is inept. Yes, the same thing that happened in Ellen's administration, the same thing that happened in Weah's administration. And that's the same thing happening in Bouakai administration. Ellen administration, the lawmakers were complaining. The same way for gas slip, scratch card, and every other thing. Weah administration, the same thing. Today, they're complaining. They should not be complaining. Why are they reducing themselves to such? When they took all those United States dollars, majority block and minority block, that whole thing was on money. The only difference is one group was on the side of the law and the other group wasn't. But money was moving here and there. That's why our legislature, they're so used to money that most of the people, except for few majority of the people who had gone to that place prior to going there, was because of the money that they were hearing. They went there, nothing. They jumped in the same money business. Squash car. They just want to look good. People, they are excited. When they hear people go, honorable, then they think they are extra. fighting for scratch car, gas slip. Those guys are the richest legislature in the world, that Liberia. The richest on the African continent, Liberia. You don't hear anything from them besides mourning. They justify. Lawmakers feel that it is demeaning, not representative of his status, to ride 5,000 US car. He must ride from 50,000 upward. You think that what a lawmaker is? Well, that's it. That's it. Let's go to Unity Party Chief Justice, called Unity Party President Chief Justice. That was serious, and it stayed serious. It had a serious bearing on our country. The judicial system, the executive, the legislature. No one, except you are not a rational being, except you are not a citizen. But no one should take this thing as a mere joke or error. No, what unfolded yesterday was grave, and it exposes what has been happening and still happening behind the scene, people. Now, let me share with you three reasons why it cannot be counted as mistake. You've seen the clip all over, everywhere. People are mimicking it now in other countries. That's what happened when you have a Chief Justice who is obsessed with jailing people, installing himself as the president and God. That's what the Chief Justice has done. That, oh, Mr. President, do nothing. I am the Chief Justice. I am the final law. I will make the announcement and nobody dare say anything. His obsession for jailing people led him to expose he and Mr. President Kahoot. 3 reasons why nobody should consider what came from the Chief Justice yesterday, calling the President Chief Justice. That was not an error. And let me say, had that come from a leading opposition or a senior opposition person in this country, as we have seen in the past, that will be the longest and long topic. They will say it whichever way on their various pages, but go check on their pages like nothing happened. Well, it is not their responsibility to highlight because it is against them. It is our responsibility to highlight because they can highlight ours. But I am putting a national analysis here, not because we are in the opposition, not because we are finding fault against Unity Party. We are not finding fault against Unity Party. We will never find fault against Unity Party. Unity Party will find fault against itself and bring it out, and we will discuss it as the Chief Justice brought it out. So whoever feeling uncomfortable, it means that you don't have good reasoning. The Chief Justice disgraced you as your partisan. The Chief Justice disgraced the country. The Chief Justice demeaned the branch that he superintends or he's managing. That was not an error, and it is not an error. 3 reasons why nobody should consider it error. 1, the Chief Justice status. His status speaks volume to a number of things that he has to be cognizant of his environment. The Chief Justice. 2, his education, no small of a magnitude or quality of an education he has. No one questions his education. Not even Satan can question his education. His education is unique. Quality one. Far off. Seasoned legal luminary. No one can question his education. Hence, his education cannot allow him to make such as he did yesterday. His education cannot. No. The third, environment. The environment. The first, his status as Chief Justice, take into consideration everything of his nature, who he is, secondly, his education is seasoned one, quality one, unquestionable one, meaning nobody can question his education. He is an authority in the law. He is a scribe, just as you had the interpreters of the law yesterday. And no one will question their interpretation because they had the education. So no one can question the Chief Justice education. We all bow to the Chief Justice education. The third, the environment. These three are the reasons why no one should consider as error the Chief Justice mental blunder yesterday. And let me explain the third, the environment. The Chief Justice is in his official seat. The Chief Justice knows the president very well. It wasn't yesterday that President Boakai came to the presidency, took the oath, and went for the opening of the court. The Chief Justice had known and still knows the president of the Republic of Liberia, Joseph Yuma Boakai, very well. They've been good friends for years. They are good friends. The longer you stay together, under no condition you can forget. People who we've been friends for a couple of months, a year or two, and then 5, 6 years in between. When we meet in gathering, we call the full name straight. Then what more about you? Every day if you communicate with Mr. President throughout the week, 2 or 3 days, you communicate with Mr. President as Chief Justice. Either Mr. President will call you as Chief Justice, or the Chief Justice will call Mr. President. Or Mr. President will send for the Chief Justice. That Mr. Chief Justice will sit down in that room reading from a script. From a script, you look at it. The Chief Justice had a script in his hand, just as you see me having this paper. You people who are following me on the screen, he had a script in his hand like this. So we conclude that he scripted what he wanted to have said, which is not wrong. That's what they call talking points. When we come on the show, we have our talking points. It's scripted. It's not wrong at all. It's normal. It's universal. It keeps you on track. And I advise you to do that if you're going to do a public address or whatever the presentation. The environment was sufficient enough to allow it color or clothe, just as we put clothes on, clothe the name Joseph Yema Boakai. Just by the president sitting in there, Sam Andrews in there, and going through the protocol or doing the protocol. I know that we have the president. So my script is in from me. If I'm coming to that place, the fact that the president there, the president tells me that the president is here. So I will say His Excellency, President Joseph Yema Boakai. Just the president being there is a reminder, it's an education by itself that I need not look at the script if I do not want to. The fact that the president is there, the president is physical. He's sitting right there. What will I look at and call the president Chief Justice? You consider a term it error? No, that's not error. That's not error. You know what is it? That's what they call dementia. That's not error. No. So, what it exposed? Yes. One, the Chief Justice openly, whether conscious or subconscious, exposed the independence of the judiciary. He created a political scene. Two, that the president is running the judiciary from the back, and the Chief Justice, Yami Gbese, is nominally teleguided Chief Justice. His blunder yesterday shows that he takes order from the political president, Chief Justice, or the political Chief Justice President, JMB. Now, if you have that clip, listen from the beginning. Listen from the beginning what he said before he went to say the Chief Justice, before he went to call him Boakai Chief Justice. Yeah, listen. You can tell the connection on a fraternal level, if not by whatever the contact or relationship or connection, because he started that way. Apparently just he wanted to please Boakai, or make sure that he and Boakai are so close, they have a long background, whether they related or not. Maybe that what was in his mind, and he went on to call him the Chief Justice. Tell he exposed the judiciary as judicial surrogacy. That's what he did yesterday. So we'll consider the judiciary as judicial surrogate. That was judicial surrogacy. You cannot do that under no condition. Under no condition. There is a gulf between the Chief Justice and the President. They are not similar. If the two had similarity, then you say, oh yeah, it was a slip of tongue. No. Chief Justice and President. C, far from D. Or P, rather. C, far from P. And you call that thing an error. Shameless supporters. Referencing others. Oh, the person made mistake too. Oh, how about the person? And your man, Joe, say he did in high school. It's not about George Weah. It's not about anybody. That wasn't George Weah sitting there and talking. George Weah is not the Chief Justice. Nobody is the Chief Justice other than the Chief Justice himself, Yami Gbese. What if that was all of the country? If the Chief Justice can sit in his country, in his office, and call the president Chief Justice, imagine if he's outside of this country. Maybe when he's sitting in front of Donald Trump in a warehouse or meeting, he will call Donald Trump the Chief Justice of the United States of America. You think that is a joke? There are certain things you can be mechanical of, you can be mechanical about. Your education can allow you, your status can allow you, the environment can allow you. That people below you. I'm not saying that people aren't prone to error or errors. All of us are prone to error, but there are certain errors you just can't make because of your education, your status, and the environment. You can. There are certain error or errors you just can't make, no matter what. You just can't. It will not be acceptable. It will not be accepted. People will not accept that. Go to people who are well schooled in these things. They will tell you what Sam Andrews is saying that's true. You know why? People in this country and out of this country are talking about the ones who know. When they have any gathering, they'll ask their special assistant to do a write-up. A write-up is the talking points. When they finish, they will carry it to the person will look at it good. The person already have in mind what he or she wants to say. So they will paint a picture to the SA and say, this is what I'm going to talk. This is how I'm going to say it. It will be this way. So the SA now, because the SA is always an expert too. So the SA will script, short but straight to the point. Look at most of those people. Just look at those people in the international cycle from here in other countries. What do you see them do? When they reach to the podium, they take out a piece of paper, they put it on the podium, they read from it word for word. Not that they can go extempo, they know how to go extempo. But you know why they do that? So that they don't reach a level that they ought not to reach. And people will say, no. For your status, you can't do that. That's why they try to avoid to read it word for word. When they finish, they put it back in a kosu, they go sit down. They guide against. They do that because of their status. They are highly educated. They can go extempo. They can speak extemporaneously. But given their nature, given their status, they try to be careful so that they don't make a grave stuff that will be unaccepted, as the Chief Justice did. Calling. You know how that thing was discussed among foreign diplomats in this country? You know, other people? Drop the political sentiment from Unity Party people. You know how that thing was being discussed? People who are seasoned in diplomacy. Legal people, international legal people who are not Liberians. You know the discussion that went, how they were discussing this? A Chief Justice looking at the president and calling him Chief Justice? Why have you seen that thing happen in the war? Since God created the war, no Chief Justice has looked at a president and call a president chief justice. It has never happened. I challenge anybody. It is only Liberia and only this unity party government that has brought that disgrace, unprecedented disgrace to this country. A chief justice calling president chief justice. It's not normal. It's abnormality. It's beyond error. It's abnormality. You call that mistake? That is no mistake. Yeah, easy. Okay. Not easy. They say they didn't getting serious in Guinea, in the border. Not easy. Guinea not provoking regional conflict, though. No, Guinea not provoking regional conflict. This thing is fluid. Our government will have to sit and really study it real good, so that the Guinean government don't come. It's not that we are afraid of Guinea. Liberia is not afraid of Guinea. Liberia is a sovereign state. Liberia is not afraid. No, Liberia is not surviving on Guinea. But given the nature, given how fluid the situation is, you want to handle it with caution. And that's what we're saying our government needs to do, so that it don't take on another dimension. The government in Guinea is not a democratic government. It still maintains the Gentile portion. You know what a metamorphosis is? The content remains, but the body change. What you have in Guinea is political metamorphosis. The content, they remain as junta, but the semblance, the atmosphere, you see it as president, as elected government, because you saw the people going to vote, and then you saw inauguration. But the idea that existed as junta is still there. The man still wields power, absolute power. So such a government, our government here, needs to be careful how they handle that situation, because it's a delicate situation. It's a delicate situation. It's not something that you can just go with political sentiment into it. The same way, the war in Iraq, Liberia's representative to the International Migration Organization, Robert Pare, and the assembly, the question, the bumping of a ship that was carrying Liberian flag. And the way he presented it, like Liberia was ready to retaliate diplomatically, or that Iran should give an answer why. Not realizing that is a conflict zone. All of the parties are suspicious of anything. That ship that was carrying Liberia flag was not the only. Prior to that happening, there were other ships. You heard the very president of the United States, the other people on the other side, everybody confirming how they hit this, they hit that. So if you have a ship carrying Liberian flag and it's caught between, it's in the middle of the conflict, you just hope that the crew on board stay alive. That's where you should be hoping for and not for pressing for account. That is a war zone. In war, it's destruction, death. There's no diplomacy in war. The diplomacy only on the table. When the bullets, the missiles, and every other thing moving here, wherever it can land, fine. That's why everybody can find their respective areas. In that war, there was no caution. There was no prior notification that coming from America, we're about to hit Iran. The United States government and Israel about to hit Iran. So every other people around there in other countries, y'all get ready. Y'all start moving into safe zone, safe haven. No, it was sudden. Just how the rapture going to take place, that's how that war started. So you should be asking the timing or the ship carrying Liberia flag. What ship was it? What was it doing? The Iranian can come on and say Liberia is supporting the United States and Israel against them. What will you say? Robert Bader, what will you say? That war zone. In war, people can capitalize on anything. Look, I said this is Liberia flag. Liberia is supporting Liberia. It's an ally to the United States, and the United States is allied to America. Liberia is the next thing that people issue or communicate, withdrawing all Iranian stuff from here if they have any, if they have ambassador yet. They cut off all diplomatic ties. They see Liberia as enemy. But in reality, we're not supporting them. That's why you have to be very cautious when it comes to these global events. It's not to put a political posture on because you are a supporter of Unity Party. You go sit down there, Robert Party, and saying all kinds of things. The people can say, this flag here is the flag of the Republic of Liberia. Liberia support the war. Liberia support America and Israel against us. Liberia now become an enemy of Iran. What will you say? You're not enemy to them. You're not supporting anything. But they see your flag now. Instead of saying, yeah, that war zone, we thank God that nobody died except for one or two persons that got injured, but everybody is safe. That is a war zone. Whatever we look up to the United States government and Israel will make a representation. Then you're asking the people to give you, yeah, who can give account in war? Who can give account in war? Eh? Nobody can give account in war. They're both fighting. Listen to Donald Trump.
Over the past 9 days, we've carried out some of the most powerful and complex military strikes and maneuvers the world has ever seen. Now, you add that up to all of the other things, Midnight Hammer, getting rid of the nuclear threat from Iran, which was a big moment in history, in my opinion, and the great success we've had in Venezuela and all other places. Every place we've gone, we've had tremendous success. But while we're doing all of these things, we're achieving major strides toward completing our military objective.
Well, please listen from the beginning. Listen carefully. Listen.
Over the past 9 days, we've carried out some of the most powerful and complex military strikes and maneuvers the world has ever seen.
The world has ever seen. It tells you of the massive nature. It tells you also of the indiscriminate release of missiles and other things. It tells you also of the scientific, strategic hit. So in such a situation, you want, if you have a ship bearing Liberian flag, and the war is going on in the Middle East, a large area, what you need to do as Liberia's representative is to be proactive. Ground all ships, boats, whatsoever, bearing Liberian flags around there. That's the first thing you would think as Liberia's Liberia representative to the International Migration Organization. You move in consultation with the rest of your colleagues in that bracket, in the IMO office, proactively to ground off ships flying the flag of the Republic of Liberia, so that it's not caught in the war. You don't see the thing with other people, other countries? You don't see that? They move as fast as they can to ground everything because it is a war zone. Anything war is indiscriminate. They're moving here and there. Missiles hitting this one. They were moving. Jabomo coming with this. They will not be looking and say, oh, okay, we see the other shape here. Let's take time to look at it. Let's announcement. We see some flare on it. The Liberia flare. Who has time to do all the things? Enemies, anything the enemy perceive as a target coming against them, they destroy it if they have the capacity. That's what happened to that ship that they say bearing Liberia's flag. That will be doing it for that. Those are the 3 pointers. 431. Let's read a few comments and then we turn to you. And then we are out. Tomorrow, national holiday. Ain't easy. LRB. It's a decoration day. Some people going to get drunk. Some people going to engage in spiritism. Spiritism is where you believe the dead is still alive. They go speaking over the grave. And they say, tell Uncle Joe hello for us. Then you see they will take the King Juice and pull it down and say the person drinking. That's why when people leave the grave, too many things can happen. They can carry demons home. Lucia, yeah, that's Lucia Lake. And Matthew Cholople, let Guinea government know that Big Brother is watching. I think the Guinean government wants to get in trouble with Big Brother. Watch and see. Paris Loba, Guinea want to test Bokari policies, new arms that he can order to use against CDC. Amara Kamara, does that mean that Guinea want to declare war on Liberia? I know. Ask them. Paris Lobot again says, calamity is coming over the country due to wrong leadership of our country. Sekou Donzo, the Liberian lawmakers are the richest lawmakers in the whole world. Emmanuel Bro writes, GMB sent a weekly ambassador in person of Sheikh Kouyaté to the Republic of Guinea. Both Liberia's ambassador to Guinea and President Joseph Yemen Boakai are political weakling. Clady Allison, the lawmakers are only concerned about themselves. Yes, that's true. You're right, Clady. That's what they are. Yeah. In the Foya situation, Emmanuel Bro writes, what happened in Foya, Lofa County right now, I suspect that the Guinean government will also host its flag in Nimba, Bong, and neighboring counties. GMB and his UP government don't have the ability to do anything about the present situation in Lofa County. Claudia again said this government will put Liberia in a big mess. All right. So let's go to the line. We'll be reading the comments in between. There are very many. That's good. That's good. You people are following. Read your comments in between. So let's go to the line. 077 223 9933 0886 30 44 97 077980375. All of you who are following, you'll share the show. Share the show as many times as you can. Let's go. Hello.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm fine.
Yeah, my name is Walter Falatimo Tanjunis. I follow you in Mabola in Kunitata Kulutu, Brema Falafuka Kunupo, the Mopior.
That's Soso? You speaking Soso?
From Watonga? No.
But yeah, that's Soso you speaking now. That name there? Soso you speaking. All right, let's hear you.
No, I'm not speaking Soso, like my name. That's the name they put to me. I kiss me from Watonga.
All right, let's hear you, Chief.
Yeah, so thank you very much. We that have our baby yesterday, we told the people that they tie our hand the porter. The people say that like Echa. They want to remove the temple. Now they see it for themselves. They running away. We told them about some of us they see that we not hate this woman, but we hate the court in him. They made the Guinea people, they many. The same thing they do to Sierra Leone. They call the place Jenga. Certain time in that place. Going to be there every Saturday before to pray. What God? So that's one of my brother there, and what up or family between us. Why carry them there? They say they play for them, but they bring them there. But because if you have the weak or leadership in power, now what can happen? And at the end of the day, they may will extend to no Bureau County. Get why lab or just say they will extend to Nimba, all places and they say for them. If you really look at the whole map. They want to on. I think I used to hear that in the winter time or late today or small ball when other thing that don't want our name back. You need Sierra Leone, Africa, they get our name. They get back to that Kegedu, that one of Kegedu, that Lebro lane, that one of Kegedu, all the places that Lebro.
Okay, Chief.
That Quenu, that Buyedu, that Taiwan, everything that you are. Then today, and I wait, that's it. That's everything. Hey, thank you.
All right, Chief. Have a nice day. Tomorrow national holiday, pre-holiday. Let's hear from the women. Hello.
Andrew?
Yes, good afternoon. What is your name?
Yes.
Let's hear you.
It is Mary. We are coming back on it now, calling from First Street. Yes, Andrew. Don't you really want nothing from the government doing at the same time was doing the food assistance. The same when the ECOWAS came, they did not listen. So the thing that happening now, who will they go to can intervene in the land case between the Guinea and Liberia? Will they get a place to go back to ECOWAS?
But Guinea, ECOWAS is a border. Guinea is a whole country.
So what I'm saying, and when the two African countries having problems, ECOWAS can come in.
Yeah, but they want the country now. ECOWAS ain't reached to that point yet. Ain't reached the point. Maybe when it gets serious, and ECOWAS will try to help.
That's what I see, because the way I see it going, it will end there. But we pray the God that nothing to get worse more than that. Because that the government will pass and do that the president will get. Thank you for following.
All right, madam. You went off, Chief. Let's go. Oh, madam, you went off too. Hello.
Hello, Andrew.
Yes, hello.
My name is Muna Nimna, calling from Corwell Black. All our lawmakers, they are people who are people. They only care for themselves. Just watch it. When the breeze blowing, see how the leaf can be doing that. The people who are people, I have one lawmaker they're looking. So when I hear our here on the lawmaker, 2020 not coming. And before I vote for any lawmaker, you will pay me. And when you pay me, I will vote for you. So need a lawmaker then. We're setting for them. And they're fighting for their own benefit. They're leaving our own problem. That could be the working state. They are whipper whopping lawmaker.
All right, madam.
Okay.
Right. Hello? Good afternoon.
Yeah, this is Esmo Carr, and I'm the victory in third and pushing for the return of President Weah 2029. You know, Yeah, the show is so bulky this afternoon and quite discouraging, you know. But let me start with Robert Party. Robert Party is not reading the news. Iran is having a common goal. America and Israel attack us. Anything that resembles America, we will attack them. Clear. That's it. So it's the same flag, and you know Liberia flag resembles American flag. So they don't care to read between the line what kind of flag is. Even they even got to know, they're going to realize that was Liberia flag. They started because we are American allies. So the war that is taking place, that is the goal. So we cannot reach to America. All the people that are associated with America, we will strike them. That's it. So what is he talking about? Okay? So it shouldn't be, I think I say he's not sorry development around here. And you know, Tom came up with another statement last night. After when you talk about the war, or it coming to a concluding stage, the guys to respond that they are not prepared for the war to end anytime soon. Then he came by to express the frustration about the guy continuously holding the candle where you have oil shaped tank of or using to go out. And you were expressing the frustration saying that you're going to pump Iran even 30 times more than that because of the holding of the candle. So it's just because of that statement he made yesterday, the oil started dropping again back down to 94 to 96 per barrel. But when the guy came to respond again that they are not waiting for the war to end anytime soon, he came and said, okay, but I will pump them more. It started going again. So here we are. And after the legislature, look, the guys, all the breaking down of places that are going on here. You hearing our lawmaker talking? No. They will not be screaming and shouting. Then whenever you will hear them screaming and shouting, their interest, their party. But however, what our constitution says we should put all the money in the appraiser and the elected official package while we leave empty. So the same way that brother got 100,000 on other credit card when you travel, then you get a guy there. Oh, and in my mind, it's not that God don't want to pay the money, but the government is stressful. They don't get the money. The money is not there. They have been calling it. So this is the way now that God is bringing it out. If you can pay the staff of the legislature, if you can get a gas leak, if you can get a scratch card, meaning the money is not there, my brother, they have been calling it, they chew it now off, and I hope that you'll be arrested and locked behind bar for that. They have fixed the association. Yeah, the four we're calling for another 6 months. It will be good for him, but he will learn his lesson.
Emoka, the sheriff went at the men's office, the Ministry of Finance. He wasn't there. The man went corporate. He went under the protection, the protection of the Eagle Way. He went under protection.
He's supposed to look for him. If you don't bring him, he can't come to session on Thursday. He needs to bring that one living body so that they can put him to the safe place. That's it. No, they're going to make a so fair here. Are you joining them? I think God thinks that we can be like Liberia and be alive at this time so that we can be vindicated. The guys are ever they have failed and they will continue to fail.
All right, Mr. Guy. Okay, have a nice day. Let's go this way. You went off. Let's go. Let's see how we can get out of. Let's go this one. Amen. What is unfolding? All right. Hello.
Hello, Sam. How you doing? Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. Let's hear you quick.
Yeah, fine. This is James Ware speaking from Belleville. This is the reason why people look at responsible and mature people to place them in this position of trust. A leader who talks too much and says nothing important always place people into predicament. I think this is how our leader talks too much. Now he said that God is not making new land. But I mean, where people say God is making new land from Liberia. You see, this are the day. I mean, George Weah yesterday was a small boy, and we brought in mature and experienced somebody. But the year the person what happened to me.
All right.
So that's it. Thank you.
Have a nice day. Okay, Chief. Which way? Hello. Let's hear you quick. Then we'll go to the women's line. Hello.
Yes. Thank you, Sam. Good evening. Good afternoon, anyway. Sam, this is Hussein. Hussein Keo. I called from a resident this afternoon. Sam, thanks for the show. And I listened to the different colors and the views. But Sam, let me say this, and I want to be very emphatic, crystal clear. You are a student of literature, more so than a journalist. You read literature. They say when the rain falls, it does not fall on one roof. It falls on other roofs. Then, politics has taken away our feelings, love for country. Then,
you want to go straight to the point?
Yes, I want to go to the point.
Please do.
Liberia has had a very good relationship and still have that good relationship with neighboring countries, Guinea, Sierra Leone, and Africa. Liberia now sits on the Security Council as House permanent member. Liberia represents Africa, West Africa, and countries around the world. That shows that we are a responsible nation. We cannot fight against neighboring countries where we represent at the United Nations. Look, the government has taken charge. The Ministry of Local Government, through the Liberian Senate, the House of Representatives, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, have dispatched.
All right, Chief.
Dedicated. No, let me end simply.
No, but
please, I beg
all
you.
the lines
I
are
beg
ringing.
you.
Yeah, just go straight to the point.
Yes,
just conclude now.
Just to end. So, what a responsible government does is to have bilateral conversation relating to some of those issues. Nobody should politicize conflict here. Liberia will not go to conflict with any country because now the image of Liberia has been rebranded.
Okay.
Our government, our president, is
All right,
respected
Chief.
in the entire world.
All right, Chief.
If the world is the-
Thank you. Nobody politicizing conflict. Your own rebel party politicize it. You know what what he said. You know how the Iranian government is taking it. Hello.
Benyama, Ekalati, I will never see a pocket. I'm a pity, I'm a cabinet of Guinea Bola.
Yeah, G-Spano, you're not crying again today. Oh. G-Spano.
Your my talking is serious. They will not speak. Keep up with anybody.
Oh, you see what the message? I'm not serious, remember?
They will not speak. The man will not be somewhere with everybody. What
He said, wait, I'll get that thing go. He said, what the man said? We're not serious.
The man said, when I remember, we're going to come out with you. Sorry. I don't know. Oh, God, it's all. Who's speaking? I'm making myself. The Canadian father is my job. You come inside. Oh, my father is serious. Anything I wish you on a Saturday, anything I wish you put a master in a rescue. I'll rescue you. Where are you? And I said, the Canadian father is the hotel and the pastor there. It will be your calamity. You already found that. So who our government official looking at us again, boy, talking about people to the border between our army, cabinet in Guinea. They talking about gas, trash, they see the mayor to get TV. Who think you tell us to get TV, my chap? speak this way, you know. You know your partner, you pass to the women that run away from the country. Pass me. Your person you fall there, everything you get to get serious. The men will come from our own country. That was trying to think I want to carry that to Guinea. You see that play? They speaking serious. Look, my son take you. I want my son will take care. They use me. What's speaking? As the panel.
What can I see? What is that? I don't understand that too.
There will be no conflict with lumber. In the panel.
I see you, Reggie's father. I see you. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Andrew.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah, let me say to the Guinean military group. So let me tell you, it's not about government being weak or this, but we're discussing citizenship and nation at large. If even Baka is not having a strength to do anything about this, but the Guineans will not say any advantage of Baka weakness. They know that we are the hardest power at large, which is America. Whatsoever the Guineans are doing, they are just trying, but they don't succeed in anything. When they talk, they say, okay, we sorry for what happened. We put other people, other government, this, that. They play that cliche role. But what we're trying to say here is that our president have power. Waka have power, but he's wicked. Waka is very wicked. And the hatred that he, when decide to put it aside, we will work together. Government is all about opposition and the leading political party. Waka is acting there. He can do everything, but it's nothing how he lying to himself. But those things that are doing, they say they want to gain authoritative power, they are lying to themselves. Or territorial power, they are lying to themselves. For Guinea, which far, but that time is past now. Thank you.
All right, Chief. Yo, hold on. Let me bring something, I think, from Guinea. There's one of the soldiers there from Guinea, and I easy. Yo, hold on. I'll get to you. I will take your calls. Don't worry. The rest of the time for you. Have a listen. Whether he speaks English good or whatever. Men are in the arrow, like Guinea men, they finish taking the arrow. Men are 45. See guns. Yeah, man. The very celebrating. Yeah, let's go. Hello.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Mr. Andrews.
Good afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Andrews. You speak a lot, though. Thank you very much, but at least I make it true. Thank you. Mr. Andrews, Spencer Mohammed, and I call my Popo Kono, down coast Popon Hill, Winter Community. Mr. Andrew, thank you this afternoon for this discussion. But Mr. Andrew, you see, Osinkewu, you see how you're struggling to defend your government that you brought to power from? You see how you're struggling? This is not how you used to talk, Osin. Osin, I know you. You used to be very articulative, but today the government has made you shame, and when you come on air, you don't even know where to start from, Osin. Those this man you're brought, you're just a man. The man is completely naked. He's not even making you proud. He just continue to disgrace you by the day. Osin, when you come here, don't be struggling. You are shameless. We don't expect you to be defending this thing. And to the issue, am I hearing that the House of Legislature is inviting the man who dropped that 1.2 billion project?
No, they say invite to arrest. The man should be arrested.
I'm hearing that they are acting the arrest and the levy body to bring the levy body of Gafua to be incarcerated for 6 months. The man that crafted 1.2 billion budget first of Africa in the history of Liberia.
But you put the lawmakers, gas slaves, and squash guy, and the lace mama, chingy. So, and what they want?
Yeah, it was of the 1.2 billion. So why is the extent of driving 1.2 billion budget when the legislature are not getting what is to get? The legislature cannot get. You see, we the only people will get and feel the impact of the 1.2 billion budget.
And Spencer Mohammed, listen, you know that they passed the budget?
Yeah, they started. But it's making no impact on their entire life.
How are you pass? How are you?
It's just a mirage.
You pass a budget. You pass a budget. Then nothing in there for you. Then why did you pass it? How did you pass it?
So that's why I'm going, Mr. You must say I'm speaking of the same mind. So what was the extent of costing 1.2 billion when the effect is not fair in the country? In mathematics, they got lied to us. They continue to lie. Kafua, you cannot lie. You can lie your way to power. You cannot lie to govern. In my mind, the guy must stop and do putting. Who see? What is happening in Lofa is a declaration of war on our country. In my mind, the chief of staff must do the honorable thing to resign, because as a chief of staff, you cannot remain in our country for a territorial state where you took an oath to defend to be invaded by a foreign food. This is, in my mind, this is gross incompetence of the staff, and somebody must pay for it. But somebody must pay for this. Thank you very much for always giving us the opportunity to discuss our national issues. Thank you, Mr. Andrew.
Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon, Andrew.
Yes.
Andrew, thank you very much. Andrew, I can't hear I was there, Newa Street. Where is the people standing? I can't hear this. You know, the player, the local exchange, because the member is great exchange to them. Because President, we are not nothing. Who says yes? We never see for armed people, and they drag the armed people and raise their killing to Guinea to the dollar. We never see a man around there, nothing. We never see on him because he was mature and God gave you wisdom. Because God was in that God choosing that the wisdom he was guiding with wisdom. Let me tell you a second. When people are because the people empower, they are ashamed. They're not able to talk. They are embarrassed in my community. They're able to talk. Number two, the second time again, they took our like work there, they put it on the front again, it's just challenge up. And the second time, yes, they work on it. Nobody say, fuck you, fuck. We're not say anything. But you can instruct people to press 1% down, to tell people land. He said, we're not making new land. So the Guinea people can't say, we're not making new land. I want to lay for you. Let me tell you, say, Andrew, they will not pray, but the Guinea people will pray, they will follow them. Because we told them that our people that in the person and some people will not want to say, they want to say, they want to say, the people all over. So you know, will be ahead to pray and American economy. Listen to me. They don't care of what kind of people in the country. I look at Guinea for cross. The kind of fire. They don't get down to Victoria because you have bombarding in the North East. So they come in now. They don't get down to
all right.
They're going to put trouble in the country. Thank you very much.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
I'm James Reliable Timothy, the visually impaired man, and I call you from Fenard Copper Farm. Hello.
You are on the air.
St. Andrew, I'm disappointed and downhearted in my spirit within the Liberian army and the Liberian government. I'm the Joseph Baga Regime, but to go straight to the point, I want to ask, do we have men in Liberia? Because let any business, I'm a own opinion talking to you here. I hear from Lofa too. A lot of people, it has not been their first time. Full of confusion. When it's somewhere, if it really is not in Lofa, I can show you about 2 times they will tell you they don't let Mandingo people there. In fact, they don't like the trap there. So me, I just want to ask, if there is men in Liberia, and what are the army we got here? What are the true army? And last day, I want to say this. Governor of Liberia on a screw on his fellow Liberians. But they are not screwed when it comes to, I would just say, any other thing. Because for every time government is afraid of idiots, foreign power, Liberian when they get power, all their friends are doing it to add wicked to them. And yeah, So far, so good. I'll stop that far because right now I'm downhearted in my spirit. Than what I'm hearing right now, and even what I continue to hear. Thank you.
Hello.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
This is council. Samuel, you know the folk coming to the door. The city take it lightly. Something just ringing back in my ear. They put during the Arab prophetic. They put there they are Jonta. They are Arab. They didn't want to improve in our country. So let's go off. But I'm talking about the legislation. The judicial branch. What I want to say, all of them, they are under the president. They are under the legislature. They do have no power on their own. Before decision made in this country, the president is the one that can make a decision. See what's going on. See what's going on. So, my brother, we shouldn't talk. The statement that I used, it was not a mistake to say Chief Justice. The man is the Chief Justice of the country. I don't care what we do. Unless they move for in power. But every one of them, they are afraid of the man. Anything he say, they honor him. Think, Papa. Think. But people are breaking their flag here. We got to ask God to be with us. Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Andrew.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, my name is Justin Akwe, and I call you from the UN Drive. You see, our government today, what they're doing is that thing that happening to that local ended. That's something that been happening in our national business. That's something that been happening ever since. That's something that been happening ever since. But then why up till now, the people left their land and threw into our land as a land that they centered their flag, everything there. So why up till now our government cannot say anything or we're not seeing any action from them? So the people should clean the land first before we know that, oh yes, the government wants to do something there. So the government only noted for the people only noted for fighting between all the citizens. When if they said our protest yesterday or today, oh my gosh, Mr. Andrew, then by now we're hearing there's another body lying but this is also place. Because it happened in Kinjo, we saw body lying on there. So it happened in Lima, we heard gun sound. But once it is something that they need to find common ground, once it is among the citizens, they find means to use force. So I even wondering, I said, but why our RGK use force when it comes to that aspect? Somebody who trying to claim your land when the president already made us to understand that God is not making new land. Then our land we got in Liberia here, the Guinean want to claim it, and we want to call on the president that God is not making new land. He should try to find common ground so that our land can be taken by the Guinean government. Thank you for the show.
Hello.
How are you?
Good afternoon.
Yeah, thank you. I heard news this morning. It was something that the Guineans will have end on Liberia and so many places they say they are there. So what do they want? Are they coming to bring confusion among us here? We be peaceful as neighboring countries. We don't want any problem among us. It will not be good. So let us stop what they are doing. But this government, they don't mean well for this country. Everything they just have a lie. Gabriel will not go ahead, Gabriel up now. You ready? Like you want to have a Gabriel now. So we see, your party is the one that does not have patriotic mind for this country. They brought warrior 1989, 1998, 1999, but I are working. And they kill all innocent Liberians, all camera, all the party headquarters is just based on the Kinjo, all everything. Your party is the one that is unpatriotic in this country here. So stop today. They are calling for a sanction on the country when we have a president just because we have a president. They are calling for a sanction on the whole country. They are not patriotic. They went and lobbied the instant money. So all criminal for the yes. They are talking about walk out, and Marco Makati was saying last year and talking about all kinds of things. So your country, your party is the one that is not patriotic. That's what possible. They get hit for this country.
If you say I want to love the one, I see the code but it's out of messed up that people are getting on. There are too many. And when you go, then come to go forward path. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hello?
Yes, Andrew. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Chief.
Yeah, I'm Jesus UK calling from Gitensri, Dubai. Thank you, Sam, for the topic on the discussion. My mind has been drawn to the issue that is there in Lofa. I want to know from our police director, and I want our police director to get on his feet, because just a recent in Nila County when the people heard that the protesters were there for their wages protesting, he sent police and some people beating, and they were firing up. Here mountain also. So where is he now? In a kind of crisis or in a kind of time where our people are being troubled by the Guineans, by the Guinean army. So there is need now for Gregory Poma to rise up on his feet, including the defense chief of staff, to organize themselves and send men there, because they are all about this thing. They are into these things. So let us see how better our people can be turned to in our local county. It is getting out of hand. It is over time. So I encourage them to do this thing. We encourage Gregory Como and the defense chief of staff to lead these people to see how best this thing can be addressed. Thank you for following me the platform.
Thank you all for spicing it up. I appreciate all of you great people. Yes. Let's have this break. Then, after that, today is Tuesday. Eh? Yes, Tuesday, the 10th day. Tomorrow, national holiday. There you go. All right, let's go. Hello. Good afternoon.
Yeah, thank you for the show. Hey, I'm turning out for Baga to say, one again, I'm going to make it reckless for the bureau. Then the people start fail la bureau. Guinea are taking our land. Let's say born again there to go through that stream. Then let's start making free no there. Thank you.
But the people they flag by the Liberians on the other side. They put their flag to the Guinean side too. They say send a Guinean, took their flag and put it to the Liberian side. They put their flag to the Liberian side. All right. Thank you. You did well. Now, people are healing. Let's be careful. People are healing those few Liberians who took the Liberian flag and erected it on the Guinean side. They are referring to them as brave, and they act as bravery and nationalism and every other thing. We have to be very careful not to be too sentimental with things like this. You are excited because a few Liberian people on the side of the border with Guinea took Liberia flag and erected it side by side, meaning you erected your flag on our side, we put our own on your side. That what unfolded. Some Liberian politicians are healing them. They're referring to it as bravery, as nationalism, as patriotism, all the kind of stuff. You see why Liberia is always as this. When something happens, then the politicians go quiet. Is that something that you should be healing? Instead of speaking to your government and let your government make an intervention, firstly by urging the Liberians on that side to disengage as you pursue the diplomatic side to find a solution. They're not speaking to their government that way. These politicians, one of them, Liman Bowie, she just posted, and then followed by the other people, they're healing the Liberians over there. They are not taking into consideration what's going to happen in the remaining hours of the day, what the Guinean government, the military, the soldiers on that side, what they're planning. You're hearing them. You see, Liberian politicians, why they are not far-sighted. But this is what we can say. Government, Unity Party government, Joseph Yuman Boakai, you the president, you yellow one, President Chief Justice, tell your foreign minister, as you people have started engaging the Guinean government, speak to the Liberians on that side, whichever way you can reach them to disengage. What they did over there is defiance. That is a military area. Civilians cannot move in defiance of a military, a foreign military. You politicians, you people call yourself politicians, you people are not sensitive. You people don't think beyond the present. You lack political discernment. Instead of telling the government here to speak to the Liberians on that side to disengage, why the government pursue every diplomatic channel with the Guinean government to have the matter resolved, you're hailing those Liberians on that side as being brave, that's nationalism, is good, and all kinds of stuff. Those Guineans, so the Guinean soldier can look at that situation, leave it as it is in the night, they move in militarily. And then you can never tell what will happen. If they move in, people might get hurt, it might lead to death. What will you say? These politicians, these so-called politicians, they are troublemakers. They are not. When something happens, you know how long these people, they can stay out of this country? They just say that on social media, they say this, they say that. Is there something that you should be hailing those Liberians? I would rather tell them, you stop. Leave it with the government. Disengage. And the government will handle it. Because it involves another country military. The people can see it as a defiance and they move in on those civilians militarily. And you know what's going to happen? They should not be there as Liberians installing or erecting Liberian flag in defiance of what the people did. They will no longer consider those people as civilians. In military, anybody who moves like that will learn that from the rules of engagement. They no longer consider you as civilians. They consider you as a militant, as an armed person, and they will move. Instead of the politicians here speaking to the government, these Liberians who have gone down there and erected Liberia flag, tell them to disengage, to leave it. And we have the military over there. Hey, you speak to the military, they can move. Why the military ain't go to do X, Y, Z? The civilians too, they're risking their lives. That's not bravery, that's stupidity. That's stupidity that can lead you receiving severe injury or lead you to your early grave. That's not nationalism there. No, that's defiance. Those Guinean soldiers can wait until the night hour and say, these people, XYZ, will move on them this time. And what will you do? If something happens, the Guinean government just come on and say, we apologize. Or they will put up a justifiable posture. That the Liberians came in, they did this, they did that, they had this, they had that. What will you say? Nothing. Those people who will get hurt, those people who will die, will be for nothing. Instead of healing these people, those young Liberians that over there erecting Liberia flag and say, oh, they put Liberia flag, you tell them to disengage. That is a hot zone right now. That atmosphere is militarized. You can't take risks with your life in it. You move from there. It's just that my ID man was not yet to see, so put it on the screen so you will see the Guinean guys. 45. So you can hardly see their face. They're around there. Already the people can speak English. While you there, you say you're speaking English and think that the people see you as enemy. They ain't got time. All right. So let's go with this break. Then that will be doing it for today. Yes, and we are in and we will not be. And don't allow anybody to make you that way, to make you think you are stupid. Make them to know that you know as they know that you're not stupid, and see them as stupid. Yes, Martin Luther King said, do not allow anybody to make you feel that you do not count. You must believe in yourself, that you are somebody, that you are resourceful, that you are significant. You must walk the streets of life every day with a sense of dignity and a sense of somebodyness. That's it. That's all the time we've got. So, few minutes to close in time, few minutes to exit the studio. Today is Tuesday, the 10th day of March 2026. We are gradually marching toward the next month, and we're going to march towards the next, and then we'll march towards 2027, and then less than no time, 2027, and it's over 2028. No time again. No time. If you know political reasoning, no time. That's why most of or part of the government strategy now, they grounding most of their projects, even though some of it have faced serious hiccup or difficulties because the expectation is not being met. The international community can give you grant, they can lend you money or borrowed. Part of that, most part of your development, you have to fund it for yourself. You have to source funding, and that goes with the president knowing people, knowing how to persuade, how to make Liberia's case, and a lot more. Just as former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was doing, she had this rapprochement, as it is called in diplomacy, with international partners, international politicians, multilateral institutions. She will make Liberia's case. Most of the time, she was out of Liberia, making the case, convincing partners. And then what happened? The dividends came into the country, even though her government was loose. It was characterized by widespread corruption. Then came former President George Weah. He developed this rapprochement also, as it is called in diplomatic jargons or setting. He will move out of Liberia, make Liberia case, speak to partners, engage multilateral stakeholders of all kinds, and the dividends started to come. That's why you point to things that George Weah did this, George Weah did that, George Weah did this, George Weah carried on unprecedented development. Those are the things. It is not happening with the Unity Party government because the man who is the president is unknown. He does not have that moving ability. He hasn't been known. He did not use his ability as understudy or the opportunity as understudy to Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to solidify himself and popularize himself in the international cycle. He felt that he has stayed 42 years. He has so much experience, so he was comfortable. He sat in his corner, just like Kafka old man would sit in his corner and waited for people to help him. So is the current president. I'm telling you why most of the things are not happening for the government, and it is working in favor of the opposition. The Unity Party people would think that, oh, it doesn't make sense, but I'm giving you a political reasoning. If you've been following elections and election politics in this country, there is not much time the government of Unity Party has. No, we are in 2026 and we already in rain season. They have grounded some of their projects. You heard the public works minister say because of the rain season, so some of the projects have been grounded. It is not true. They are finding it difficult to source funding. Some of those projects you have to pre-finance. You heard the president himself talking to his colleagues, not his colleagues, but his subjects, his ministers, that they are not performing. Too many complaints are coming from the public, meaning the public is not feeling anything as development, so much so that less than no time he had the cabinet meeting. Tomorrow he's having another cabinet meeting again to say or find out from his people why progress is not being made. Yet he will say we're developing this country. Government is hard. When his colleagues, his predecessors were going through difficult times, he had his boys lambasting them, condemning them, saying all kinds of things. Look at the legislature. The international community don't see the legislature as a legislature that is ready to help. Do you know that the legislature is contributing significantly to the backwardness of the arrest agenda? Look at it. Well, you would think that we are in opposition. That's why we're talking. Yes, we're in opposition, but we are exposed to the politics. We are following the events within the three branches of government. We are not sleeping. We're not keeping close our ears. We're not blindfolding ourselves. We are following all of the events because we are Liberians. So if you think that because we are in opposition, so we're just talking, yes, we take it as a compliment because we're talking sense. We are exposing the people. The reality is there. Not much is happening. Why would Mr. President call an emergency cabinet meeting when he just yesterday he had emergency cabinet meeting? Then he calling another one tomorrow. That tells you nothing is happening significantly. The development of the country is not moving. What you have been hearing from those politicians were just a mind game. People come to say from this place to this place, on a Wia government, we're taking 14 hours. On a Boaka government, we now take 2 hours. How is that possible? A place that you are taking 10 hours, less than no time, you're taking 2 hours, when the reality does not present that. Look at most of the roads. Do you know that everything just bad up? We saw some of the things we saw on social media. The very people, they can't come and say again. So they were only using that because the Unity Party people say we have messed the country up. So they say, oh, let us spice to it. During weird time, from this time, we used to move from here to this place. We used to take 10 hours. On a Joseph Yema Bwaga, we're taking 2 hours. Logical reasoning will lead you to asking yourself, what's the possibility of that? How come in less than no time you can take 2 hours from 10 hours drive? How is that possible? So what miracle has been performed? Today, they can't say any one of those things. The president is calling executive meeting as an emergency meeting. The president told the whole country and the whole world that his ministers are not working. That is a defeat to the people who have been running all around saying, oh, Bwaga doing well, Bwaga doing well, Bwaga day, Bwaga well. Now they muted themselves because they know that they were lying. You can't make significant progress in this country less than no time. You have obstacles, you have natural delays, the rain and other things. You have different. You will not have international partners supporting you as the way you think you want them to support you. You will not have the money to improvise. You will not have the kind of revenue generation domestically that you will want. Even though the government say, the LRA boss say they've generated substantial revenue, yet you see nothing significant happening. Mr. President is constrained to call a cabinet meeting. Why should a president call cabinet meeting after cabinet meeting after cabinet meeting? What does that tell you? That nothing significant is happening. Mr. President is confused. And time is going because they know time is going. Time not in their favor again. 2028, 2029, around the corner. You United Party people be talking, be bragging. Oh, we are not coming back. Oh, y'all still on inside. You know, you concentrate on your time. Anything you say, just like AB said, we say, yeah, we agree. You say, we are not coming back, we agree. We're still on inside, we agree. If you can change the reality, then we submit, but you can. You don't have the time to do it. Mr. President said you are changing, you are turning Gabriel Tucker Bridge into 4-lane. What kind of president can do that? I'm not saying that it's impossible for Liberia. Yeah, Gabriel Tucker Bridge there. They say they're turning the whole of across from Gabriel Tucker Bridge 4-lane all the way. What happened? Time going. All the things that are also rhetoric. So they want to keep all of those things down. Then 2027, 2028, they say we want to do the one, but you know, we never had the time, and you give a second time. That politics will not work. It doesn't have substance. It does not hold water in Liberia any longer. No. Your OUT. All right, that's it. So the world's greatest thing is on tonight. Don't forget the political clock is going. It's gradually tickling. It's gradually tickling. The March 10th. Yeah, gradually going. Before you can realize it, 2029 before us. Take it for joke. You'll be talking, oh, the Joe, we are not coming back. Joe, we are left the country. Or Joe, we are not coming back. Joe, we are not coming back. The other people say, Joe, we are not coming back. They're gone. Joe, we are stay around. You'll be doing it. 2029, we hitting gradually. Yes, we see. They don't have much time. Mr. President is confused. And another thing I should leave you with. Listen, Mr. President is not too well. Let's pray for Mr. President. Mr. President is not too well. Councillor Tiawan Gonglo, he said Mr. President doesn't go to work as he should. Mr. President goes to work 11:30, and then Mr. President sleeps, and then Mr. President is back home with his people. Why that is true of a substance from Councillor Tiawan Gonglo. But here is the irony. It is the same president that he was praising as doing well. So it's not about the president not going to work early. He should be sticking on the president's progress. Whether the president goes to work early, he goes to work late, but he's delivering. By his admission that the president does not go to work early, the president sleeps a lot. It means he has not realized what he was saying about the president and making progress. They're not true. He was just being rhetorical. So Mr. President sleeps. Yes, because Mr. President is not in a good bill of health. You don't expect Mr. President to wake up normally at 6:37, right? No. Mr. President is in his 80s, going to 99. He's frail. Okay, you hold on to that, if God permits. And tomorrow will be the show on the holiday. Tomorrow, national holiday. National holiday in Liberia. Always dry day. Okay, man. So today, Tuesday, the world's greatest team is on display. FC Barcelona against Newcastle at St. James's Park, England. UEFA Champions League round of 16, first leg. Let's see how it will go. SCV. All my SCV people, y'all get ready. Then tomorrow, on the holiday, Decoration Day, we're going to decorate Real Madrid. Man City, we decorate Madrid real good on tomorrow, 8 p.m. Tomorrow, Wednesday. We'll see you. Yeah. So the news is on at 6. Please join us for that. King's Newsroom at 6. And then at 8 o'clock, you know exactly what it is. The doctor himself is in. The teacher of the land. The light of the nation. The evangelist in. Anthony at Law. A.B. William with Face the Issues. You, as always, ought to be part, as you have always been a part. So, if God permits, we're back tomorrow. This is we go home this way.
Drawing blueprints, breaking ground, a foundation strong where love will stand tall. Every break can be a piece of our hearts, a place we call our own. No matter where the road we go, he was arising. The rules are taking shape, building a new home with love from the start. Through laughter and tears, through